And global affairs analyst Joshua Onyenwere joins me from Vienna to discuss this. Good to have you join us, Joshua, this hour. Now, let's begin with that much talked about speech of Melania Trump. Many said that she was indeed the star of the night, and everyone is talking about how she made the speech her own. What would be the impact of that in broadening her husband's appeal?
Thanks very much, Precious. You were rightly with how you referred to Melania's speech. She really brought a lot of hope, no doubt. For me, Melania's speech took a different turn from what we observed from the day one of the GOP convention. She spoke, to the common man, or should I say the common American on the street, and referred to, the great American spirit. This was a complete, direction from what we observed from the day one of the convention, which many have termed, parade of dishonesty, which had, dishonest claims. And like you probably have seen the Joe Biden team reference to the convention day one, which they termed as dark, divisive, fear-mongering with no plan of combating coronavirus.
So let's talk about President Trump. He pardoned a Nevada man convicted of bank robbery and then swore in 5 new American citizens. Now, all of them people of color. Let's start with this. Does this breach the traditional boundaries between campaigning and governing?
No, it doesn't. I mean, from what we've seen so far, the convention has the good, the bad, and the ugly. However, what stood out mostly was that the convention was used as a fear-mongering platform. I know it's unfortunate to acknowledge this on national television, but a lot of what President Trump said, and a lot of what the GOP congressmen and women have said so far during the convention were wrong and they're misleading. Completely lies. There are moments of false claims, misleading claims, and strategic omission. But however, you had moments, where you had congressmen and former governor, of South Carolina, who gave inspiring speeches, But altogether, looking at the convention, what you take out of it is that the agenda is quite clear, political polarization, appeal to the Trump supporters base. This is just the agenda of the convention. And by the way, if you don't mind me, yeah.
All right. So we've seen fact-checking on both sides of the aisle, whether it's for the Democrats or Republicans. But let's look at the fact that something unprecedented happened. Mike Pompeo, who is the Secretary of State, shattered tradition as the first sitting Secretary of State in at least 75 years to address a national party convention. What do you make of that?
There has been a lot of turning points with this convention. A lot of changes has happened. For instance, the traditional platform where you had the president, the party themselves, provide like a memorandum of the agenda they would achieve in the coming 4 years. But for this year, it was abandoned. So this election, let's not forget the pandemic is also a problem. And the election so far, America is currently talking about, emailing strategy to deal with the election. But generally, what we have observed is that there has been a lot of changes, and rightly so for both sides. These are the things that we would expect in the coming 2 days convention.
Global affairs analyst Joshua Onyenwere, thanks for talking to TVC News.
Thank you very much for having me.